Furiously typing, dude. I'm also trying to finish some ramen right now, so it'll be a minute. Don't be ridiculous, it's 11:30, it's instant. I'm not gonna finish it, dude. We're out of time. I just need someone to call in with a really worthy take so I can finish eating that. Alright. Should we get started? I guess we should. Alright. Russell, I had dinner after work today, and my work hours, I got off at 4 today, so I ate around 4:30, 4:45. So I don't need your criticism. All right, hold on, I gotta turn things off and on and all that. I'm here. It's me. Let's see, I wanted to include the stand-ins just for reference. That's what we're looking at through week, I believe we're through 4 weeks, don't quote me on that. 3 weeks, because people have played 15 games. Close enough. Yes, any GMs in chat, make a trade for content, please. We got some stuff to go through here that's fun. A lot of it's been spoiled already, so I apologize if you have been perusing Miner's discussion, but maybe a little bit of info we did not know I'll be able to share. And gosh, I guess there's really no reason to like hold off on it. I know people have been seeing Russ complain, and there's some stuff about the CRC in Miner's discussion, so I'm going to share a couple of tweets from one of our insiders. I've got a series of 5 of them, I think, so we'll just kind of bang them out here. Our first tweet. So Russ, sources indicate Russ unhappy on LST. Which, by the way, if we're starting with Russ, he told everyone all offseason how horrible he was at offense. He seems to have been correct. LST sitting 7th in the standings, which, I mean, I didn't think they were a world beater preseason anyway. But Russ is currently 18th in hold, 16th in caps. And part of that was maybe a function of the roster too, but not super inspiring, I'll be honest with you. So that's Shams's first tweet. His follow up on that trade request from Russ. This was an interesting one when I first heard this. So when Russ informed his team, Sadness in particular, that he was unhappy, he actually started trying to reach out to other GMs for trades, is what I'm told. So I thought that was really interesting. You see that sometimes in Tag Pro, but it's always a little odd. Like, I know, when PK made a bunch of trades for Blob when Blob was out of town, maybe that was season 29, season 30, kind of a similar situation. So I thought that was really interesting. So yeah, Russ trying to broker his own trade. We follow up with sources indicating that 2 teams have talked to Russ in his attempts to trade himself, HGB and BBS. Now, I think most people at this point have heard about HGB. BBS, I don't think people had heard much about. And I actually thought that was an intriguing discussion there. BBS and the LST sitting right next to each other in the standings, kind of on the edge of the play, just inside the playoff picture. And you got to think BBS may be trying to trade. I think Russ is overrestricted, but I heard maybe Trapson, which would have been odd. I assume you don't want to break up freaking Trapson. But I look at those 4: free Trapson, Marcus, and AJ, and I don't know. But I probably agree Trapson is the one you can get rid of. So I don't know. I thought that was an interesting thought, but we will get to why that did not happen here in a moment. So yes, the follow-up to that, HGB did step up to the plate, submitted to the CRC. It's Russ for P wins, and then I think this is where everyone else kind of figured out what was going on, because the follow-up to that, the CRC did step in. They denied that trade. We saw Russ complaining about it in minors discussion. Unhappy that the CRC is involved, I think 4 out of 5 in some capacity, whether it be as a GM or a player. At this point, it's kind of unavoidable for CRC members to be involved in some way, and I don't think having 4 of them recuse makes a lot of sense to me. And I think generally, that the people on this CRC I would trust making these sort of decisions without bias. But when I first heard this trade got rejected by them, I was surprised. I think it's unbalanced. I think it favors HGB, but I don't know that it crosses the line. That was, I don't know. If I were on the CRC, I would not have denied it. Now, I'm pretty pro-trade, so I don't know how much merit that has, but unbalanced, yes, I think, but not to the point where the CRC needs to step in. So CRC stepped in. They nixed the trade. 110 is right. And then in the meantime, and I know we got some people waiting in the waiting room. We'll get to you. I'm going to run through this sequence first. So that trade gets denied. In the meantime, Sadness is still trying to make moves. So then add Mania to Glucose Spike and return for Beast Mode. This one was weird to me. Well, maybe not weird. It's just kind of like you're swapping 4th balls and hoping for the best, which, sure. I don't know that Beast really adds much, and I don't know that Mania really adds much. From a vibe standpoint, I think I'd rather have Beast, but I don't know that move really makes a difference to either team. But so just a 4th ball swap there. All right, so that trade gets made. I don't think any team gets appreciably better. And then following up on that Tier C decision, a big development, huge shocker. I don't think I've seen this in some time. The captains have overturned, they vetoed the CRC decision, as is their right. So they vetoed this the Russ P. Wayne's CRC decision, and Russ is in fact, after all, on the move. He'll be on HGB, and P. Wayne's will move on to LST. And I tell you, you look at the LST roster now, man, I don't like it. I really don't. Because your lineup is Bamboozler. Like, your defense is unchanged, Bam and MC, which I think has been aight. But look at your offense now. I think for all of the faults Russ probably has, I mean, Beast and P-Waynes, man, I like P-Waynes a lot. And I like Beast survives and he can cap, but man, I just don't see it. I really don't. So I don't know. That LST roster doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me now. I did not know about the hardware upgrade, so potentially something to monitor on P-Wings. But yeah, why don't we Beast? I'll let you in now, and then probably go Button after that. But that concludes the Rust saga. So let's bring in some callers here. All right, Beast, you're in. What's up, dude?
Hey, how's it going?
Good, man.
Nice.
What's up?
I don't know. You wanna talk a little minors?
Yeah, talk to me.
All right. So, I think this is the first time in my Tag Pro career I've ever requested a trade.
So you did actually request it?
I requested the trade straight up.
So, why?
Here's what happened. So, we're a pretty vibey team at this point. It's me, Cell, Irony, and Poet. First 2 weeks we got 7 out of 15 points, so we're showing kind of like decent potential if we put it together. And taking a step back, Irony's my dog. I think I've maybe played more seasons with Irony than maybe any other Tag Pro player. We just vibe well, we play well together, but for some reason we're both offenders and we can never end up playing offense together. One of us always has to play D, so that's fine. He's playing D. We weren't great, but I think we had a ton of potential, and there were some scrim sessions where we did extremely well. We had one scrim session where none of us were playing particularly well. Right after the scrims, Neb said, "Poet, can you stay in this channel for a bit?"
Oh Lord.
So right away, I'm like, all right, it's nice knowing you all. I think I'm out of here. 30 minutes later, we get a DM in the team chat that it was actually not me, but Irony who's been dropped for Kelvin. So that was kind of the start of it here. Lost my dog. Gonna take a step back here. I think it was pretty suspicious that Neb scheduled some last-minute scrims to evaluate if Irony deserves to be on the team, knowing what everyone else has bid as a CRC member, so he could make that last-minute decision. But we're not going to go there. That's not what I'm here to talk about.
Spicy.
Kelvin gets on the team. I don't think we scrim at all. We just go straight to, the pregame scrims in the game. I really don't know him too well, but, straight up, that guy's, one of the more toxic players I've played with in the last few years. And
is it? You really think so?
Yeah, it was really bad. I'm right now kind of at the point in my Tag Pro career, I'm not particularly good. I'm just here for the vibes and to have fun and, to just hang out and, have a good time with other teammates. And I don't want to just get berated in the middle of a game for 3 minutes. So we end up not doing too well. It's our worst week yet. I think we got 6 out of 10 points. And I think right after that, he writes in Discord, hey, I'm sorry, I have a 102 fever, won't happen again. But at that point, I'm already pretty sick of him and the team for the matter. Like,
You know,
I just didn't want to be part of that situation. So I requested the trade to Neb. So Neb is on a ski trip. I'm talking to a bunch of other teams, and there was a ton of offers for me.
of course.
Obviously, I'm
Yeah.
like the fucking man, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it turns out that Legend of the Split in Temp, is that what we're
Yeah.
called?
Yeah.
That's who ended up trading for me, and which is actually a surprise to me. They're not one of the teams that I was talking with for trying to acquire me. So was extremely stoked to play on the Seahawk team. You know, get Bamboozler and Russ,
Mm-hmm.
and then Russ is gone now. I think you've talked about that already.
Yep.
Hopefully, I'm not spoiling
No,
anything.
I did.
But
Yeah.
so here I am. No, I think overall I'm a little happier. You know, I'd rather be on just like a team with good vibes, and these seem like good people who I'll be playing with. I just don't want to put myself in a situation where I just don't enjoy playing Tag Pro, which was me the other night.
I understand that. I guess I know it's kind of hard to tell. You just joined the team, but I guess thoughts on playing with P-Wings, and then do you think the team's any good?
Yeah, you know, I think at our best we'll win the Mooper,
Right.
and at our worst we're probably the worst team in Miners history.
Yeah.
Um, I think like MC's I think low key kind of good, and Bam maybe is continuing to get better week after week. Penis Wings is an interesting one because like I've never played with him. I really don't know his style, but the guy's undeniably having a monster season right now, and like something was broken about Russ. So I think probably Sadness's vision was try to shake things up a little on the offense side, get rid of Russ who just didn't want to be there, get rid of Admania who I think for all intents and purposes doesn't really bring anything special to the table. Uh, and see if a guy like Penis Wings could continue his momentum off the team and rely on I don't know me maybe being good for once. So uh, I think you know I think what matters the most is the vibes seem okay, and I think there's some potential here.
Okay. Well, Beast, we got a fair amount of people waiting, so I'm gonna try to bring them in. So I appreciate you calling in.
Yeah. Thank you, Anka.
See
We'll chat
you.
later.
Yep.
Yeah.
And real quick before I do that, I wait, yeah, and I alluded to being like out of date. I haven't really followed the season. Beast is right. I mean, Wayne's is second in caps. I had no idea. So, so maybe this offense isn't gonna be as bad as I thought it was gonna be. I just looked at the names and I didn't think much of it. But hey, man, that's not a word. And then Beast is sitting eighth in caps right now. Interesting. All right, let's bring on the CRC members here, see what they have to say for themselves. Button and Timmy, are you with us?
Hi, how are you?
Well, Timmy, are you with us?
I am.
All right. Why are you guys so corrupt? Is my question.
I've always been corrupt. I don't know what you mean.
But I think more seriously, I guess since I just ran through the Rust stuff, why the denial? Why are you able to be unbiased in this decision, particularly Button, since he's involved? And then were you surprised when the captains overturned your decision?
You go, Button. You're the one that's biased here.
Definitely. I would say the reason I voted in favor of vetoing the trade is I think my evaluation of the players is that Russ is better than Penis Wings, like, significantly. Wings was on my do not draft list. Russ was not. Russ was... I played LST on Monday. Let's just say that it didn't go well for their offense. So they got dropped, but I thought Russ was the second best player on the team during that game. And it was really MC and Admania who felt like the weak links. So for my eyes, seeing Penis Wing stats, it looks like he just got inflated by playing against LST without Casley. I've played with both of them recently, and I think Russ is a significantly better player, and they're essentially getting rid of a second ball for a fourth ball. So
I
That's
guess
why
my rebuttal. I don't know for the rebuttal. Do you think it's the CRC's role? Like to me, like even if that is your opinion, that it is a second for a fourth ball, I think the CRC's role is more of a your job's to prevent like completely lopsided, illegitimate trades. To me, that doesn't meet that bar.
I guess what I would say in response to that is that the captains are allowed to veto us blocking a trade, but captains aren't allowed to veto us accepting a trade. So I felt last season like when you were on the CRC with us and there was the Slough and Water Wheel trade for Neb and Fly, that came in. No one had discussed it at all, and it was at 4 votes before like 4 yes votes before I even saw it, and I was like, well, this seems kind of strange. This seems rather favored towards HGB's team in that instance. And then I think there was a lot of complaints about like, why did the CRC allow this trade? So I think part of that, just seeing like there was no discussion from the CRC and we just voted through last season, made me go, okay, let's actually look at this trade. Do I think this is fair? No, I think this is kind of a scam in favor of HGB. I'd rather put a veto out there. And honestly, it's not even the most lopsided trade that I thought we allowed, but oh well.
My position
Yeah.
is that I'm here to make sure the entire league is miserable, and I'm gonna make sure every trade goes through no matter what.
So can I ask for the vote breakdown then? I see. Was it 4-1 on vetoing it?
It was 3-0 when it was announced to the GMs, and then Timmy and PK voted late in favor of allowing it.
Gotcha.
PK and I vote together often.
Well, PK is also on his honeymoon, so I don't know how seriously I'd take his vote.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. So then, once you guys denied the trade, but I don't know if I understood you right. You brought up the veto, or was that a captain who initiated that?
That was, let's see, I would say the sequence of event goes, Russ publicly throws a fit in Miner's discussion about not having a trade allowed that
God
he
bless.
thinks is in favor of him. I think either Prime or BBB complains in Miner's GM's chat about it. All of the Miner's GMs start complaining about it. And I believe it was BBB who initiated the veto process.
And remind me, is it 3/4 have to vote?
It's a 2/3 vote.
2/3.
So, because Prime and Sadness were involved in the trade, they were not allowed to vote, making it 10 captains who were able to vote. And then the final vote ended up being 7-0 when it passed. And then votes after that did not matter.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I honestly I don't know if I got any more questions. So unless Timmy or Budden, you've got more to add, kind of surrounding that discussion, I think I'm good.
Oh, I do have more to add.
Yeah,
I think
please.
the worst trade that we shouldn't have allowed was the Isug for Misery trade.
Hold on. I haven't shown that yet. I'll show it right now. All right, there you go. Go ahead.
So, the trade for... So, full disclosure, I tried to trade for Isug, who is currently the 0 Teenish ball, and I told Yelpa that if you want me to take Isug off your hands, you're gonna have to pony up all 3 of your tag coins.
Get Yelpa in here now.
And
Yeah,
then
we can bring Yelpa
BBB
in.
is so desperate to get Misery off of his team, despite having 2 ad drops to do it, he decides that he's going to ship all 11 of his PCs off to get, again, arguably the worst player in Miners this season.
Hi, Yelpa.
You offered a trade for Isug?
Yeah, Yelpa.
Yelpa, you don't know how to read
looking-
messages, babe.
I'm looking through our DMs and I'm not seeing it.
Am I gonna leak the screenshot?
I mean, just tell me the day and the time. Oh, I see.
1/29/2025.
at 12:13 a.m. I said think on that for 16
Oh.
hours, and
Yeah.
then no, I would not have done that.
If I could
We
just
don't need to
interject,
go into details. I would not have done that.
briefly interject here, and I can't speak for Big Bad Ball, but my feeling, regardless of the skill of the players involved, my feeling is that since Isug was at one point, I believe, a blockwork player, that is driving Big Bad's motivation to get him on his team. So I don't think he particularly cares about the misery or the TC involved, to be quite frank with you.
Oh no, BBB has been very explicit that he'd want to do the trade just to get Misery off the team.
And yes, Isug is Blockwork. He's a Blockwork alum. He was the captain of Blockwork Orange Season 7 in LTP, and I believe he put up a 9.820 gasp that season.
So I think that might have something to do with it. But yeah, so that's interesting. Man, that's interesting that he's so anxious to get Misery off the team. I guess, but tell us why Misery, when Big Bad's so anxious to get rid of him, why are you looking to make a change, and why Misery? Is the tag coins more important than the player in that, or?
I still have not talked to Misery yet, so I don't want to say too much, but Misery is still in the trade box. Any GMs that are listening, you have about 5 minutes to make a trade with me. My lines are open. I am looking for anything for Misery. Anything.
Yeah, we'll reiterate that. I've got the clock up on the stream. GMs, if you're in chat, 5 minutes. If you want to get one in before the deadline, make it quick.
Or don't.
Victor is on the block, I hear. So.
All right, Victor for Misery.
Oh, that's just in Timmy's getting called up to majors. Holy shit, man.
Congratulations.
Wow. Thank you.
I'll throw in a sandwich.
All right, disregarding the CC, maybe Yelpa, what do you like about Misery?
I like that he asks questions about his stream, and he tries on his stream to make it strong and marketable. I like that he's very active as an MTC member. He's always commenting on maps. He's always voting on maps. He's always participating in the discussions, which is something that some of our MTC members are not doing on a consistent basis. ASAP, I'm looking at you here. I like how active he is in the community.
I'm hearing a lot of non-gameplay reasons.
I was about to say.
Well, who cares about the gameplay? I just want to play 4D. Just give me 4 people that will play 4D. And
Call me up then, Yelpa. Call me up. Did you see my 5 minutes of prevent?
Don't think I won't, Timmy. Don't think I won't.
Put it in, man.
Okay, I'm going to, Button and Timmy, I'm going to kick you guys out. I've got one thing to chat with Yelpa about real quick.
Thank you, Anka.
Yes, thank you for coming on, both of you. I appreciate it.
Okay, 3 minutes, GMs? Please, 3 minutes.
Well, I guess, Yelpa, would you mind if I wait till the deadline officially hits before we do your other thing?
Not at all. Not at all.
I'll get you back in a little bit. Let me get Admania in here.
2 minutes, GMs. Get in my DMs.
Admania, are you with us?
Hello?
What's going on, man?
Yo, not much.
Alright.
Got traded.
I know, how's it feel? Tell me about it.
At this point, I'm used to it, and it does, like, I understand it completely. I think I've been playing the most washed I ever been playing, and haven't been playing as much, so I'm not surprised. It doesn't, like, I don't know, I don't really feel anything from it makes sense, to be honest. But
well, what I think is nice for you, I think the team you're going to is really freaking good, to be honest with you. I like Kelvin a lot. You know, Beast was talking about how he had an off week, he was sick, he was maybe not acting terribly nicely to him, but I think Cell, Poet, and Kelvin, that's a heck of a trio for you to just join out of nowhere. I guess, do you feel pretty good about the team you landed on?
yeah, I definitely feel good. I was kind of surprised, but I'm like thankful, but now I'll probably put like the most effort because like I don't know. It'd be a missed opportunity if I like squandered it.
I gotcha.
Like if we lost, I think it would be just on me basically. So, but I'm like I can fix like so many things, and some people think I shouldn't be in minors, and I think that's stupid. But I'll just have to show that I'm not washed.
I'm sure it's all about proving it, right?
Yeah, and I had good stats last season, but we didn't make it to playoffs, which was unfortunate. And then the season before that, we made the super or mooper, one of them. So I can definitely unwash, and I think it's kind of funny that people think I'm pretty bad, but
Yeah, I mean, like, I think what it's we're through 3 weeks, and like I said, I think you landed on a really good team. So I think you got a great opportunity in front of you, and for you guys to go on a run here and maybe make some noise in the playoffs. So I'm hoping for the best for you.
yeah, thank you. I think we can do it, honestly. It would surprise me if we didn't, but I'll probably put way more time now. That I always do better when I get traded, because I realize that I have to like get my stuff together, so we'll see.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you for hopping on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, glad to be on. Thank you.
See ya.
Have a good night.
You too. All right, Jarvis. What's up, dude? Hello? Are you at a frat again? I can't hear a word you're saying. Hello? Are we really doing this again, Jarvis? Drunk and at a frat? Is that what's happening here? All right, you figure that out. I'm getting.
I hope
We
you're
got.
doing. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing well.
All right, go drink some water, dude. We'll talk to you later. All right, Russ, you're in whenever you want to unmute. I just can't do that for 5 minutes, dude. I can't take it.
Anka, how are you?
I'm well, Russ. How are you?
I'm pissed, to be honest, because Button definitely still has a vendetta against me, because I won the MVP over him, even though he missed a bunch of time.
Weren't you guys on the same team?
Yeah, we won a Mooper together, and he hated me because I won all the awards over him. And this goes back to Tag Pro Survivor, where he backstabbed me and then got sent home because of it. So, anyways, I give Neb a pass for voting. He thinks I'm weirdly good at Tag Pro, even though I'm not. But Freak and Button, they are just being bitchs, to be honest.
You can say
And I'm
it.
still mad about that. That's okay, I don't want to cuss.
God
Could be
bless you, dude.
minors watching.
You're such a kindred spirit.
But anyways, back to the trade. Like, everyone thinks I was massively manipulating, and I'm so bad at offense. Like, most people play Tag Pro, and they, like, the first thing they do is they run and grab the flag. I've never done that. Like, I've 300 plus degrees, and I only ever play defense. That's, like, all I've ever done. So, honestly, P-Wings is, like, way more of a natural defender than I am. And it was insane for them to, like, veto that trade. And then Button's reasoning was, like, basically like football, you know, like, we gotta let the play out and then go review it. Like, that's what he was arguing. And I'm like, that's bullshit. He never thought that the captains would veto it. I don't even think he thought they could at first. So, anyways, Button sucks, and that's the main thing that I want to say tonight. But I'm pumped about my new team.
Yeah, that was gonna be my follow-up, aside from all the Button hate, which I understand and support.
Thank you.
Yeah, new team. which is currently third in the standings. Now it's all kind of a clump there in the middle, but they're top four kind of, I guess, in a group for that top four spot maybe. Big upgrade over your current roster. I guess, how pumped are you?
I'm super pumped. Like, honestly, all I ever wanted to do when I played Tag Pro is be on Omni's team, and I was like, it's never gonna happen again. So playing with Omni is gonna be sick. Am I worried about completely letting everyone down by being bad on offense? A little bit, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. And just a word on LST. I may have been asking Sadness for trades for quite a while, but not because I don't love everyone there. Just we were not very good. Like, Inmania's got 60 caps last season, and he knows how to like grab and do stuff, but we were just not on the same page. And so I hope, and I think it actually will be like a win-win for everyone involved, and just a dumber reason for the CRC to veto it.
Yeah, I said it. I don't think it was worth vetoing. I understand. Like, Nameless is saying his Button's explanation didn't really match what he said in GM chat, so it's hard for me to comment too much on it. But I'll say that he's not necessarily wrong that our CRC last season was not particularly active or involved, I suppose. So I understand maybe the heightened caution there. I don't know, the trade just doesn't rise to that level to me.
Yeah, I mean, like, I totally get vetoing any trades, like when people just give up, or if like people are threatening to throw, or like something crazy, you know. But if two captains come to an agreement, and like obviously Sadness is not throwing the season down the drain, so it's super dumb to even argue for that. It's kind of like, I don't know, like if two people agree to sell a house and there's not any like nefarious business going on, then that's how much the house is worth. Like, it's not up to a third party to say that's not a good deal if two people who don't know each other agree to a number.
I
Anyways,
think, yeah.
Button and Freak are on my hit list for life. And I love to hold grudges, so that's all I've got.
And hold flags, right?
No, my plan was if this didn't go through, I was definitely gonna play defense 100% of the time against Freak's team on Monday, and
man,
force him to try to deduct those standing points for it. So
fantastic.
Yeah. Anyways, you're the man, Anka. I'll let somebody else talk.
Yep. Thanks, Russ. Appreciate you. All right, Yelpa. Let's do March Madness really quick. Let me crank the music up.
All right. I have no idea.
I'll let you know when to go. All right, go. Spiel.
All right, folks. It's March is coming up next month, and you know what that means. It's time for March Madness. 32, 64, some determinate number of your maps out there competing against each other to be the next maps guaranteed and rotation. No evil MTC saying no to your shit. No evil MTC voting against your interests. You choose the maps. You play the maps. Your maps enter rotation. March Madness coming up soon.
Love it.
Post will be made shortly out there on the Reddits, or what's left of Reddit. And yeah, you submit your maps right there in the post. We're doing something different this time out. I think we're going to have 4 different quadrants, all depending on the number of maps you submit. So the more maps you submit, the better. Just go into your backlog of unfortunate maps. Take that map that you like but you never submitted. Take that map that you think got a bad shake. Put it out there. Put it in the thread. We're going to try and do 4 different quadrants this time. Capture the flag maps, CDF maps, neutral flag / other maps like DTF, Deliver the Flag, those sorts of things. You got something out there, maybe a racing map. I don't know, Bambi, one of your creations. Go ahead, put it out there for March Madness in that quadrant. And we're going to do a 4x4 map based off of Penis Wings' 4x4 challenge. No more 4 of any of the utility-based elements out there. No more than 4 internal tiles. That's the 4x4 challenge. And then we're going to have a 4th quadrant, which is procedurally generated maps. What I'm going to do is procedurally generate a couple of templates based off of some code that was created by Electro and modified by Black Orchid and myself. There will be templates out there to use, to create, to make your own maps out of. It is not AI. We are very specifically saying not AI. Procedurally generated. I hate AI. Screw AI. No AI. Please. 4 different quadrants out there. Put your maps out there. March Madness. It's going to be fun. Hoot and a half.
Fantastic. Yep, well, thank you very much.
Arigato gozaimasu. Shitsureshimasu.
Take care.
Whee!
I was really hoping take care was the proper response to that. All right. So yeah, appreciate y'all for shout out March Madness. Keep an eye out for the post on Reddit. Get involved. Let's get some new maps. As you can see by the clock, trade deadline has passed, so no more trades snuck in as far as I know. We do have another special caller here, wants to give his take on the whole imbalance trade discussion, and I would call him a longtime proponent. Well, I don't know if proponent's the right word. Likes to discuss this sort of thing, so let's bring on Spheroid to get his take. Spheroid, are you there? Testing, 1, 2.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep, I got you. What's up, dude?
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I just wanted to give some complex league theory sort of take on this sort of situation.
Yep, lay it on me.
Yeah, so I object to Russ's house metaphor because in this sort of thing, it's winner take all, right? Like with a house with money, like there's not one person at the end of that who gets all the money, right? Everyone can benefit in their own way. You know, it's relative. Whereas in this case, there's one single goal at the end, that's win the season, and it's zero sum, right? One person's benefiting, one person's not. One person's winning, one person's not. So I think Russ is not correct about that. There's certainly been trades in the history of the league where one team has, whether it's because the captain just is gullible or stupid, definitely done a trade that was absolutely against their team's interests. Sometimes, in fact, I've even been the beneficiary of a trade where the other person knew it was not in their interest, but did it anyways because they'd already been essentially eliminated and they just wanted that player to have a chance moving forward. So that happened to me before. We did some things to fix that. What we did on the CRC was we wanted to make sure that the deadline for trades was earlier, so that a team couldn't be in such a desperate situation like that where they would just, sell off their players.
Yep.
But obviously it is still possible with a maliciously acting captain, or with just, it's not like we have a plethora of captains in the pool, so sometimes the lesser IQ captains get in, I will say that. And so it's good that there's a safeguard, it's good that there is vetoes. It's a valuable thing to have if need be. However, from my experience, it's not used very much, and it shouldn't be used very much. It should be sort of a last resort. If it truly is like league breaking, game breaking, or just really stupid, if you can sense something, if something smells fishy, you throw that. Now, do I think this was a fishy one, specifically it was Russ for Penis Wings? Do I think that was vetoable? Would I have done that? Longtime CRC member Spheroid? No. I will say I do not think that veto made much sense. And I do understand where they came from, because one thing about proper positions is they're not position restrictions, right? The CRC has maintained this line again and again, that proper positions should not affect valuation as much as a position restriction would. So if Russ doesn't have a restriction, is he worth a lot more than P Wings? Yes. Yeah, he's just a lot better in my eyes. But with this restriction, I think it's just like one of those weird scenarios. Russ seemingly is a lot worse on offense than defense. And seemingly that the moments where he can play some temp defense isn't really offsetting that. So this is one of those like rare circumstances where maybe it should affect his value, even if the CRC says that it shouldn't. Maybe like de facto it does. And honestly, it's just not that unbalanced. I don't see it like breaking the league, and I think it's a bit silly. I'm not sure that the Survivor Tag Pro reasoning is actually what happened. I think Button just makes some weird calls sometimes. And Freak is new to the CRC, so he maybe has his own take on how to do things.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really disagree with anything you're saying. I mean,
yeah,
I guess, what qualifies as league breaking versus not. When this is CRC step in, that's where the gray area is. And I'm kind of with you here. I don't see it.
And the okay then theory is that trades just shouldn't be a thing.
I hate that. To be honest with you.
He says that trades are inherently one team benefits off of it, and that it just opens up too much of a can of worms. Now that's an extreme take. That's an extreme position, but it's also one that I'm slightly amenable towards. I think from a competitive integrity standpoint, it's number one, but we do need to make concessions at times of the integrity to foster, things like enjoyment, even if it slightly hampers the integrity. Normally, I don't like decisions that do that, but I think in this case, if someone just wants off the team and it's not like super league breaking, like why force them into that position? As long as the CRC are good enough watchdogs against those, those outliers where the trades just really should not be allowed. And that's the issue. The CRC aren't necessarily they're not elected for their player evaluation.
That's true.
Yeah. So it's not like they actually are qualified necessarily for that. Like there's a certain CRC member, I will not name names, but if they actually if I'm meant to believe that they actually know the valuations of different players, then you could sell me a bridge at that point. So. Yeah, I think maybe they are compensating for the water wheel thing. Maybe they just feel like they broke majors so badly that they want to avoid the same thing happening in minors. I could see that being the case. The water wheel thing definitely was a big mistake by them. So if they're just compensating for that, yeah, I get it, but too much. Are you saying that the captains vetoed their veto of veto to veto and the trade is allowed now?
That's correct. Yep.
Okay, that's news to me. I wasn't watching the start of your stream, but that's interesting. I guess I'm happy that the GMs. I always feel like the GMs should have the power to step up and say a CFC's being stupid. So I'm glad they exercised that power, and I'm happy.
Yep.
The end result of that.
Yeah, for sure. I guess anything further to add? If not, I appreciate you giving your take on it.
No, yeah, that's just the complex league theory of it all.
All right, thanks, man.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
See you. All right. Yeah, so don't know if I have much to add for Steroid there. I will say that I did think the house analogy was funny, both from Russ and Steroid. I tend to give the edge to the person who's actually bought a house before, so I'm kind of supporting Russ's analogy there. I'm assuming Steroid's not bought a home. Maybe that's wrong of me, and Steroid correct me in chat if I am wrong, but yeah, I thought that was funny. And then he brings up then's point, and I know I've seen Sin made this point of plenty of times. It's this idea that you shouldn't allow trades at all, and I just hate that. It's just there's a drive from some of these top players to reduce the game's variability to the point, to me at least, where it's no longer fun. And maybe reducing variability, that's fun for them. I just, to me, it ruins the game. This drive to eliminate any sort of randomness, which trades would fall under. Trades they're part of every single league I can think of, esports or otherwise. It's just, I don't know, I hate it. I hate the idea of not allowing trades for us. I think it's fun. It's the whole reason we're having this nightcap tonight. It's good content. It's ways for bad teams to try to improve themselves. If you locked rosters, you would go from teams trading people away in an attempt to get better, and to teams just giving up after 4 weeks because they're never going to win the thing. And then maybe you combo that with shorter seasons and whatnot. But I've always said that part of what makes an MLTP season special is the length of it, right? I think having it spread over 2 months, 2.5 months to win a championship, that's part of what makes it important. So yeah, and Nameless, you're exactly right. I remember I can go find the argument I had on the NLTP subreddit probably like 7-8 years ago. I argued with Fender on Reddit about it back when NLTP was best of 7 and when majors and minors were still halves, best of 3. And Fender's argument at the time was best of 3 halves is more I don't know what the word is, supports competitive integrity more than best of 7 playoff does. And I said my viewpoint was perhaps, but best of 7 playoffs are more fun and more engaging. And less variance. That's probably the way to put it. And honestly, I think now that the change is spread throughout all of our tiers, I think a lot of people really like the change. So I don't understand the drive to eliminate variance. I think that really kills league enjoyment. If you commit to doing that too much. So anyway, that's my take on that. I guess since we're well past the deadline, and I don't know if we got any more callers, we can do a quick big winner, big loser of the night. Try to end it that way. A big winner for me, I think, has to be, out of all the moves that have been made, I think the winner has to be Russell. We talked about it with him. He goes from LST, who's kind of clumped together towards that 7-8 seed, and maybe they make the playoffs, maybe they don't. I assume 8 will make it this season. And he gets traded to the 3 seed. I think his defense, that's an upgrade. I like Squeeb's playing really well from what I've seen. I think Squeeb and Irony's a pretty good pair. I think that's better than Bam and MC. And then he'll get to ride the bus along with Omni, which I think is actually going to be a huge difference for him. Because on LST, he was expected to be that offender, right? At Mania, for all the success he had last season, and he talked about how he's going to really work to improve by the end of this season. I think Russ was expected to be that lead offender on LST. That's not the role he's going to play on HGB, so I think that really helps him. It's a lot easier to cap when you're not the one who's having the grab. You actually see this a lot. Like if you go look at Tag Pro League and you look at caps off regrab, it's not all the time, but a lot of times you see defenders high on that list, and you see what you would call your support offenders, even though I don't think that's a great term, but your second offenders are often high up on that list because they're not the ones generating the grabs. They're often camping on regrab as their lead offender dies, right? So I think that's going to benefit Russ a lot. And I think just having a stronger roster is going to allow his non-offensive skills to kind of show themselves more. So I think Russ is a big winner tonight. I like that trade a lot for HGB. The big loser, You know, hard to say. I guess I don't know. I guess beast mode. Although he doesn't think he lost, right? He's happier on this team now. Maybe LST as a whole. I know I'm kind of flip flopping on P wins here. I think I've landed on him and Beast not being all that great of an offense, and I question where the production is going to come from. Or maybe it's not even a production question. Like I can picture like Beast, even though he was traded away, he's capping a fair amount. They may be sacrificing some kind of overall awareness and skill to drive their offensive production, maybe. But I don't see it working out. I think they're going to lose more than they've been losing after this. So to me, that's LST adding Beast and adding P wins. I don't see it improving the roster. So to me, they're the big loser tonight. Yeah, I know Beast requested the trade, but personally, he thinks he's won. I think from a Tag Pro standpoint, I think he lost. I was surprised to hear that about Kelvin. That was not my experience with Kelvin when I played with him, so I was surprised to hear him say he'd been taught it to him, and I just think the skill of Glucas Spike with Kelvin on the roster, I think that's a really high ceiling team, and I think you'd rather be on that team at the end of the season than LST. So let's hope you do have Flaccid in voice chat, so let's get Flaccid in here. Be our last caller tonight, I think. What's up, FT? How are you?
Hey, sup? Thanks for having me on.
Yep.
I just have a couple thoughts. Just gonna make it all about me real quick.
Let him
I'm just kidding. So, okay, to your point about caps off regrab, I noticed, I went and looked at Tag Pro League. You want to guess who the number 2 and number 1 players are in the league on caps off regrab so far this season?
Tell me.
It's Penis Wing and Beast.
Is it right?
So one of them is, probably going to have to step up into more of a lead role, but I think Penis Wings is up to the challenge. I've been sort of taking a little helper. I'm not like a co-captain or anything, but I'm a streamer for LST, and I like to help them out, offer support and stuff like that. So I'm excited to see what they can do. I think a problem that was there when Mania and Russ were there was that I don't think either one of them, and I'm not trying to knock either player. I like Mania, I like Russ. I don't think either one of them was necessarily like generating grabs well at like a substantial clip, so then they both felt like they were kind of like having to support or whatever. And like Russ had mentioned to me, he's like, oh, like I hate playing support, or whatever. So I don't know for sure that he's gonna love trying to get grabs for Omni, but also Omni is a really good grabber, so how much do you really have to do there? I think Mania and Russ are winners in that their roles change to where they don't like have to try to force grabs and wind up flaciding a bunch. But I do think the vibes on LST are going to get much better after this trade, because I'm not trying to be toxic to Russ here. This man was boomed from week 1. And they won the week. It was a 10-5 standings point win, and he was like, this is the least fun I've ever had playing Tag Pro. Sorry, I don't mean to air out your DMs, Russ. That's all I'll say. But so, we'll see. Oh, Nameless tossing out some handoff stats.
Yeah, I will be loading them onto the stream shortly. All right.
Oh shoot, what else did I want to say? Sorry, I got distracted with my rambling.
All good.
I don't know. I love minors. Thanks for doing the Nightcap. Everyone should do March Madness. Make a map, even if you think it stinks, submit it, try to get it in. March Madness is awesome. Also, shout out Penis Wings for coming up with March Madness.
100%.
Since he's a hot topic of conversation tonight.
Yep.
And I loved having Penis Wings on the novice team last season. His availability wasn't as good last season, and now it's better. And apparently he's got a hardware upgrade. I think LST is going to be good. So yeah, I don't know. I think that there's a lot of winners tonight. I don't know that there's necessarily a big loser. Oh, okay. I remember what I was gonna say now. Okay, all right, Russ. I lied. I'm gonna air one little more portion out, just a little bit. I think Russ was frustrated at some of like the erratic decision making that was going on when things wouldn't be like going swimmingly. Like, if you're down and you're trying to come back, things get more erratic, and some of the decision making is like not quite as good. When I look at Omni and Irony and Squeeb, full respect to Omni, he's a great player. All three of them, I feel like, are players that can be erratic. And if that booms Russ again, does he really win? I don't know.
I guess we'll find out.
I'm not totally sold that they're like huge winners here, but I do think Russ will like his role more on that team. So we'll see. I don't know. But I love the Nightcap. Thanks for having me on. I have nothing else to say. I'll get out of your hair.
All right, thanks, FT. Yeah, I guess an FT kind of hinted at the end. I just think the role was going to be easier for us on HGB, and I think just the overall talent level is better. Like, Flaccid talks about, I don't know, call it variance, I guess. Like when things are getting funky, kind of the doing random things kind of thing. I question how often they're going to be in a position where that happens. I just think the talent floor is that good. Personally, I just don't are they going to get down to the point where that stuff starts to happen and Russ gets frustrated? I don't think so. And if that stuff, if what FT's talking about is occurring while they're winning a game 5-2, it's fun, not tilting at that point. At least to me. So I just don't know if that scenario is going to come up to where Russ is going to boom. All right. Yeah, so let's do rankings really quick, but per request from Budden. I apologize. I don't know if I can set up a. We'll just have to. I don't know. Maybe I'll post something in content, but I'll just talk about the rankings here. To me, Mercury Revolution's still number one. They didn't make any trades at the deadline. I don't think they needed to. They were my preseason number one. They are currently number one by a pretty wide margin. 3 weeks in, so you don't want to put a ton of stock into it. I don't know what their schedule is off the top of my head, so they could be playing some softballs in those 3 weeks. So it's not being the one seed isn't some clear indication about how good they are. I do think they are number one. And then, I think after, I don't know, it's hard. I guess I would put HGB 2. If I'm gonna call Russ a winner here, and I'm gonna hype up that trade so much, I think I have to put HGB at 2. To me, so much of this depends. Like, are people calling up novice players? I'd heard some rumblings of that. Button, thank you for the link. Let's try to do this really quick. I'll have to do a window capture, I guess. I don't know, it's been a while. Let's do a window capture. Let's go. If I'm doxing myself, ignore that. Ignore it. You did not see my initial there. And then I'm gonna move myself, so hold on. Alright. Let's do this. Alright, so let's start here. I go Mercury Revolution's in the S tier. I think Harlem's in that A tier. I think the Revs are kind of in a class of their own at the minute. And again, I don't know who's picking up who, so this could change. I don't know when the ad drop deadline is. I assume it's soon. This could change fairly quickly, but right now, to me, that means Chennai is in B. Let me look at the standings here. I'm kind of cheating a little bit. OPH, I don't really believe in either. Although they, I was looking at the hub just trying to prepare for this a little bit. They had a great week against Yelpa's team, which maybe not that great of an accomplishment, but Ted was back and capped like a million times. I like Carl in that roster a lot. So they're actually, and I think Hughes may be a little underrated. I think there are some things to like, actually. So we will put OPH maybe in that A tier. One thing to note, I did get this little factoid prior to the stream today. OPH is 2-3 with JK at SS minus its cap diff. After they dropped him, they're 8-2 and a plus 23 cap diff. So moved on from JK. I like Carl a lot, so yeah, OPH may be in that A tier for me. Sorry, I am trying to. You guys can see my screen. I kind of forgot that. Alright. So then I would put maybe BBBs in the. I don't know. There's a lot of mid teams this season, it feels like. I'm going to put Imagine Dragons in C tier. Fake ass for explanations. I think BBBs, I like the kind of their top two. I like Selfie and Crossover a lot. Ku, there's the European pain thing, but always feel like he's been solid. Misery for Isug, I don't know if it makes a ton of difference for them. It may not. But maybe bring back that ABO connection, sparks something for him. And I played TPM with him a little bit before the season started. Mostly liked what I saw, so maybe there's some potential there. So I think they're kind of an average team. Chennai's down there too. I just don't really trust their third and their fourth ball. Although Gamma has been, I think, fairly solid this season. I don't know. It's just Vic on defense doesn't do a whole lot for me, and then their third, fourth balls aren't particularly, I don't know, anything better than what any other team has. I think so. Put them in that middle tier as well, and then BBS actually outperforming my preseason expectations for them. They've been really solid, but again, I just think Young's not even the word, but it's just like they're not at the level of some of these more experienced guys. So to me, they're just kind of an average team. Imagine Dragons in the C tier. I don't really love their roster. It's kind of a budding carry situation. I know they had a really good result this past week. And I don't know if they actually picked up G-Man 10 or not. I'm trying to look here. Yeah, they dropped Sweaty Pete for G-Man 10, which I believe was their configuration this past week when they had a pretty good week. So this may end up boosting them up further than what I have them at currently. I don't know enough about G-Man 10 to put them higher at the minute. So, and Jutester. I didn't know about Scrapper. Well, I think with those moves, I'm a Scrapper hater. So dropping Scrapper for Jutester, getting G-Man 10, I like those moves. But again, like Budden, Borges, Jutester, and G-Man 10. I don't know. I have to watch some of your guys' games, I think. Like, the changes are better, obviously. You guys played well last week. I just don't know if I see it, though. So maybe I just need to watch you guys play a little bit, but I just don't see it right now. Let me make myself smaller. Okay, and then we start kind of getting into the maybe one more meta team. Yelpa. I guess we'll put them in the C tier. I had much higher hopes for them. Let me pull up the standings real quick. They're in 10th right now. I don't know what's going on with them. I thought they'd be better. I thought No Swag and Tag Prof would be a better duo than their standings have seemingly proven them to be. I don't think Isuk from Misery, similar to Big Bad Ball's team, I don't know that it changes much for them. If they're a 10th place team with their roster, I don't think swapping Misery in really improves them much. You know, maybe Misery really improves here over the last, 4 weeks of the season. But if this roster hasn't been good enough to get more than 10th so far, I question whether they're going to get any better. Miss Glucose Spike, I think they're actually up in the A tier, and that's solely, I talked with Admania. I was not lying. I think this is a really great opportunity for him, but they're only up there because they have Kelvin. To me, I think if this was Irony instead of Kelvin with Admania, they'd be further down. I just think Kelvin, when he's on, I think he's really, really freaking good. I won OTIA with him not too long ago. Has played Majors defense, albeit not at a super high level, but has done so successfully. I really like Kelvin a lot, and I think he'll be able to punish most minors teams relatively easily, so I think that Kelvin addition pushes them up to that A tier. Talked about LST, I don't think their roster is great. Beast and P-Wings, we'll see. Well, we talked through the stats a little bit. Nameless, appreciate you pointing out their handoff stats. They're both good at handing off, and they both top out at caps off regrab. So one of them is going to have to start taking the lead when it seems like this season they've both been taking kind of a bad seat. So we'll see if they're able to work off each other. I actually think Beast Mode might be able to take advantage of that. I can see him being a little bit more aggressive and P-Wayne's kind of continuing to do his thing. So maybe there's some hope there, but the roster is not that great to me. I don't know that Bam and MC is a great defense, so to me they're in that C tier. LBT, I don't understand what's going on with them. They're 5th right now. Man, I guess they're just one of the blobs in the middle. I really thought the way people hype Toidle up, or however you say this person's name, I thought he was like supposed to be the Nets Bubbles or something. I don't know if that's borne out. Let me check stats before I put my foot in my mouth. I don't know. 5th in prevent, 4th in returns. They're actually pretty good. So why are they not better? Why are they 500? I don't understand. Let me check in EU real quick. Did they, is Casui playing for them right now? They went 4-1 against Big Bad Balls. Yeah, Casui's playing. I don't see him on Tag Pro League, so maybe he missed some time, and that's why they're kind of screwed up. But I guess until proven otherwise, they're in that big blob in the middle. Looks like statistically, total is not bad, but they're not winning a ton of games, which kind of surprises me. I would have thought they'd be better, but I guess it's Kazui on offense. Is that what's happening here? Because it's Chucky and Total on defense. Is that how that's working? Oh, I think it is. Okay, well I think that's probably why then. Like, you'd rather Kazui on defense. Yeah, 3 defenders. Thank you, Russ. Yeah, and then Cynical's team dead last in the D tier. Actually, after they won 2 games week 1. I streamed that game against Omni's team. I thought they didn't look that bad. Spear had missed that week. Jarek had taken his place, and I thought they'd all. I didn't think they were world beaters, but I thought there was room for improvement. I thought they didn't look too bad, but came off a really bad week. I think this week. Let me check the scores. Yeah, Chennai swept them, and yeah, I don't know, man. You're running out of time, and you're last. It's a tough spot. I don't know if Jura's good enough to break him out of the funk. So that's how I would do my tier list right now. I'm a very uninformed, pending ad drops the rest of the season. That's how I would do that. With the one caveat that Imagine Dragons maybe moves up depending on how Jutester and G-Man 10 look. I really don't. I would need to watch them play. I've not seen a game, so. All right. That's probably gonna. Oh, I turned myself off. I'm sorry. That'll do it for us. I've got to readjust my camera to fit the bots here. This is gonna bother the crap out of me, dude. I think it's like rotated. Alright, anyway. That'll probably end the nightcap for me. Appreciate all you guys for tuning in. Not the most exciting trade deadline in the world. But some fun stuff to talk about. So appreciate all of you who called in. Appreciate all of you who chatted. I guess check me streaming the game maybe sometime soon. I've been streaming less recently, but we'll catch you next time, I suppose. Take care, everyone. Night.